feel as if...
Oh, hold on. This video we're going to be reacting to is Tony Brienne. Mega churches and Christian influencers are destroying Christianity. Now, I watch this because I am conscious, and I've been getting into, I've been getting back into, listening to sermons. Kind of getting back into church, but my way of getting back into church is like I'm baby stepping my way. So I'm listening to sermons, getting back into reading my Bible and stuff like that, and talking to God. And I realized that the reason I haven't been going to church is based off of trauma from as a child of my experience in church. So it's just a hypocrisy. So I want to see and listen to the stuff that she has to say about the mega influencer churches and stuff like that. Biggest thing about getting back into just relationship with churches and stuff like that and religion, you just got to go with what feels right with your spirit. Always trust you and your spirit and where it guides you to go. Some churches that are for your friends are not for you. That's vice versa. So you got to trust your spirit. Without further ado, let's get into this video, man.
Churches have definitely lost the plot. There has been an obscene glorification of mega churches, and I feel as if we're praising the churches and the pastors more than we're praising God. And I feel as if a lot of these pastors are not practicing what they're preaching. In this video, we'll be discussing the dystopian reality of mega churches and performative Christianity. We have a lot to discuss in today's video, but before we get into today's video,
one of the many things I love about her videos is she always has long videos. I'm into the long form content, as you guys can tell.
A little bit of positivity, so we do a quote of the day.
Y'all can tell by just me reacting because I enjoy reacting and I love looking at long form content. I love to talk, but just the details and her research that goes into her videos, I just enjoy it. But also y'all can tell with when I be cutting up and I be editing my videos, like her videos be around like what, let's give it 30 minutes to like an hour. Those are her videos be. And my reactions, like me adding, like me talking and shit like that and pausing it, I pause like damn near every like it could be a range of 30 seconds to like 5 minutes. I'll pause it in intervals. So it adds like a good 30 minutes. But the shit I be saying is it adds to it. It has you think. So I'm not mad at it. And if I don't need to talk, I just won't pause it and I won't say anything.
I still think it's okay to correct certain behaviors in Christianity. I keep it raw and real, okay? But we still gonna praise God here, all right?
Amen.
So let's first start with the quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is, "I trust that everything will improve even if I don't see it yet." Today's verse of the day is Romans chapter 14, verse 4, and it reads, "Who are you to judge someone else's servant? To his own master he stands or falls, and he will stand, for the Lord is able to make him stand." Please be sure you guys are following me on all my social media platforms. I am on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube too. This channel is also a podcast. We're available on all audio streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. I also have a separate podcast called The Decision Podcast, where we discuss how one choice can impact your entire life. It is interview-based, and we give nothing but raw, real, and vulnerable, and relatable. It is a phenomenal podcast, and I think if you enjoy watching me here, you will definitely enjoy watching me there. We are also available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And yeah, support me on all my social media sites. These will all be linked here. And without further ado, you guys, let's get straight into today's video.
Albion Online is a sandbox MMORPG in which you write your own story.
Ads, man.
Taking you in this moment,
A lot of people feel that churches today feel more like concerts versus actually praising and worshiping God. There's fog machines, whole production teams, lights, cameras, actions, all pointed towards the pastor.
As cool as that is, God, he don't need all that. Church is not the building. Church is not the lights, the camera, the effects, the fog machine. Church is the people. The gospel, as in y'all singing, and y'all don't even need those instruments. A cappella, praising with positive intent, being grateful and gratuitous for when he gives you what you need and what you want, and also when you're going through stuff, being gratuitous, because he's still also giving you what you need and what you want, but you just don't know it yet. You got to be tapped in to understand that it's what you need. But God, he don't need all this. And I don't like putting the pronoun on God, because God is consciousness. He's not a he, he's not a she. That's why, like, when people talk about God is a man, God is a woman, God is all. God has no gender. He's consciousness, ether. But yeah, God don't need all that.
And though this can be seen as a good thing because it feels as if they're trying to bring a little bit more of a modern touch to church today, it also gives a little bit of performative. It feels as if the pastor thinks the show about him versus Jesus.
I wonder how much, like, my thing is, if I go to church, it's my first time, I'm church shopping around, and I go and I see this, I'm not even paying attention to the word or the stuff that they're singing. All I'm thinking about is how much did they pay to do all these effects and shit like that, but also, how do they get the money? They got to be either doing it through tithes, or are people paying a membership? I'm just assuming that everybody's tithes are going to the church. Because ain't no way they got a whole ass... I don't even know what the fuck that is. It's like a... Is that a tomb? Not a tomb. It's a... All this is a big ass... Like a big ass building that's being, leveled down with string. That looks like a fucking performance you'd go to a rap concert or any type of concert to see. And I know that the artist or their labels have to pay that shit to have it. Like, that, I'm not going to be paying attention to the word. I'm really going to be I'm going to be thinking about, yeah, that's a lot of money. I wonder who the fuck's paying that. And I'm not paying no tithes for that. Fuck that. Oh, that's Justin Timberlake. Oh, yeah, Justin Timberlake? Yeah, they definitely paid that nigga. They definitely paid that nigga. Had to. Because he has never talked about anything spiritual.
Their social media following.
And wait a minute. That was Mirror. That was Mirror that was playing as he was coming down. That's not a church song.
And building their church following in terms of...
That's Logic. Is that Logic? Looks like him. Justin Bieber, Oprah, EA, Kim Kardashian, yay. I'm assuming it's Scooter Braun.
Them actually helping and servicing the community. Yeah, I'm going there and I'm going to take it there. So let's get into it. I think it is absolutely okay to want to promote your church and you want to get more followers in your church. I mean, that's kind of the purpose of Christianity. You want to spread the word. But when it starts coming off as you wanting to be a celebrity versus a pastor, that's when I start giving the side eye. Now, I don't want to necessarily put blame on pastors, okay? I don't even think it's all pastors. I think it's actually the people that are sometimes worshiping these pastors. They put these pastors on a pedestal and they feel as if they need to broadcast the fact that they went to go see this pastor. And to me,
it's always about the intention. First, God said, There shall not be any idols before me. That's the first commandment. No idols before me. Next thing, to add on to what I said about, it's all about intent on why you're going to the church. A lot of people will go for false intentions. To go get some pussy. Man, go I thought about it. You heard about them church females? Church females? You know, wow. They get downs like that, yeah. To see what the hype's about. Okay, just lit. It's like concert. Let me go ahead and turn up. I don't want to go to no old head Baptist church where they just, I mean, old head Baptist church, y'all turn up too. It's not really modern. Other people go just because other people are going. It's all about your intention on why you're going to church. Because if you're going to church to actually get the word and find the word, then you're not going to need all of that. That's just showboating. That's literally all it is. It's showboating, materialistic stuff, and I feel like it's a cover for something. I feel like it's a cover for something. Because you don't need all that to spread the word of God. Jesus, if you believe in him, Jesus, he wasn't all about showboating. He rode in to town on a donkey. Like, come on now.
It feels like you are worshiping the pastor more than you're worshiping God. A perfect example of this would have to be a church that's located in my city, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. So the church is called 2819. I actually went to this church 2 or 3 times before it blew up. This church got very, very popular very, very quickly. I actually have cups from the church in my cabinets.
That looks like a concert hall.
I thought it was a phenomenal church, and it was spectacular. I think the pastor does a very good job. Pastor Phillips, great sermon, great word. Everything 10 out of 10, okay? However,
when I was looking for sermons to do for my spiritual baths, he's one of the people that came up. Ultimately, I first went to, and who I'm still listening to, Pastor Mike Jr., shout out to him. My spirit just aligned with the stuff that he was saying, so I've been watching him. No shade to the other pastors, stuff like that, but I just more aligned with him. But I have seen his stuff. I think I might have started watching it, but then I just was like, nah, I'm cool.
Once the church blew up in terms of popularity, getting a lot of popularity and traction due to him getting popular via social media, the church got overly crowded. And when I say overly crowded, I mean
Jesus
you have
Christ.
lines out the door, and you sometimes would have to walk 30 minutes plus just to get to church.
Wow.
And people were doing this and also recording the fact that they were doing this. So they would post on social media that they arrived at church at 5 in the morning, or they drove all the way from Ohio to Georgia in order to see Pastor Phillips in person, or to attend 2819 church. Now,
see, my thing is, I don't even like driving from Ohio to Georgia just to see family. What makes you think I'm going to go to a church and stand out? Well, I can't even say that. What makes you think I'm going to drive from Ohio to Atlanta? And it's crazy she said Ohio. Hey, she want me. She know that a young brother from Ohio. I mean, it had nothing to do with... Oh, shit. I'm so goofy. I was trying to do something on my fucking other computer, on my other screen, and I forgot my mouse is on here, and I tried to click it on that screen. Streamer problems. Yeah, I wouldn't even drive from here to Georgia to see family, let alone fucking stand outside for stand outside for 2 hours. Nah, I'm not doing that. Nope, not doing it. And that's just assuming that you get in.
Okay to go to a pastor or go to a church where you feel as if the word is truly spoken to you and you feel like you're receiving something from the sermon. But to me, I feel like
it's better that you're standing outside for church, because I'm look at it from both sides. I'd rather an individual stand in line, a long ass line for church, than for Jordans. In my opinion, I feel like that's better. You know, you're gonna be tithing, might as well put the tithes on, that church than, spend your money on Jordans or whatever the latest drop is you stand in line for.
If there are plenty of churches in everybody's hometowns that you can happily go to and you can get that word, you know what I mean? So I no longer go to 2819 because it just got out of control in terms of so many people going. And yeah, you guys can say something like, well, if you really wanted to, you would go. But I feel as if there are plenty of churches where I feel as if I will get the word of God that are also looking for people to call their church a home. And when people are traveling so far just to see Pastor Phillips or just to go to 2819 or any church that's popular on social media, it takes away from the locals that actually want to attend that said church. I'm not saying that everybody's not welcomed. I mean, the entire point of Christianity is to be a community and to be able to accept any and everybody. But with the popularity of 2819, it feels as if it's a trend for people to go to the church and to say that they went to 2819. The amount of vlogs I see of people kind of trying to get validation or trying to seemingly seem better than because they woke up to go to church at 5 a.m. for a 9 o'clock service. Like, it comes off as very performative. And speaking of the fact that 2819 church did get very popular due to social media, I want to highlight that as well. It seems a lot of churches, I'm not speaking about any church directly in particular, but it seems a lot of churches cater their sermons towards social media clips. Almost as if their goal is to get clipped and for those clips to go viral. And to me, that doesn't come across as you're trying to give the word to your current church members. It seems as if you're trying to gain more popularity and get more viewers from online. From their lighting, to the timing, to what they say, and sometimes with the pastor looking directly into the camera and not even at any of the people that are at that church in that direct moment, it's very evident that a lot of pastors are
that nigga hanging like SpongeBob in the SpongeBob movie. I'm a goofy go by. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you dangling over? This nigga think he believes that he is a Christian or Baptist Chris Brown. I don't know if Chris Brown is religious, but the way that he's up there, like, why are you hanging over everybody like you're Jesus? Why are you looking down to people? Like, I don't even like how they, preachers stand at an altar because you're looking down at the people. Jesus never looked down at the people. He wasn't on the altar. You know, he was with the people. So, yeah, that's very performative. That's something. And also, what she was talking about, how, people were making TikToks, stuff like that, and making it to seem like they're better than other people for waking up early. That just shows that individual's intent, and it's like, if it's random people and I see that shit, I already know what it is. Like she said, it's for attention and stuff like that, but I won't give my energy to that. But if the friends see it and they know them, like, they should be aware of that and move accordingly. Because people will snitch on themselves, whether it's directly or indirectly. As long as you pay attention, you're tapped in, and you discern and you're aware and you pay attention, people will show you their true colors and who they truly are and what spirits they have on.
Optimizing their content in order to go viral. To me, it's like pastors and churches are trying to be content creators or influencers versus being pastors in actual churches. The algorithm.
And this is what I can say about that too, because I understand what she's saying, but for example, like I told you, I watch Pastor Mike Jr., right? And I don't know if it's true, but I believe him. He said he doesn't require people to take tithes. He doesn't require people to pay tithes. And if they do it out of because that's what God's telling them to do, and they're doing what they need to do or what they can do to contribute. I don't believe he doesn't take the tithes for himself. He puts it back to the church. He also live streams on YouTube, and his sermons are on YouTube. as well. And I'm pretty sure he has a TikTok and social media page. But I was thinking, like, man, him not taking tithes for himself and putting it back into the church or helping out the community, he's smart as hell for doing, having social media for himself, like himself as a brand, but as a pastor and for the church, because that money is being also funded to the church to where he can do whatever he wants with it and get back to the community, do the stuff like the repairs and other stuff like that he needs for the church. And so I believe that they're monetizing it correct. Well, the people who are using the like social media, I believe that Pastor Mike Jr. is using it in the correct way, and I feel like social media is a smart way. I believe that's the right way to use social media to spread the word. I'm not even thinking about it as they're trying to gain popularity, which I mean they can be trying to gain popularity, but I believe I don't believe it's a malicious intent when they're doing it. I believe that how they're doing it, they're using their resources to spread the word to a wider audience, because not everybody lives in Georgia, or I know Pastor Mike Jr. he's in Alabama, or maybe California, or just somewhere out the way. Like I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and Pastor Mike Jr. is in Birmingham. I'm not flying there every Sunday or whipping there every Sunday, and it's more convenient for me to just do it on my phone every time I wake up. So today is all about convenience, and it's a consumer market. How do you want to do it? Because I believe that these churches, 2819, Pastor Mike, I believe they still would have been big, but not as big if they really didn't have social media, or if they didn't have social media, or if they didn't use social media to their advantage. So I agree with them doing that. Now, whether it's their intent, it all depends on the intent. So that I can't speak towards, but your spirit will know, and that will help. That will have you gravitate towards that individual, or that'll keep you away from that certain individual.
Has become the new altar. Okay, the algorithm is what seems to be a priority in a lot of church homes, and I think that's what makes some churches feel almost inauthentic. Once again, I do find it important to spread the word. I do not think it's a bad thing for churches to utilize.
If you get to heaven and I am not there, you are in hell.
Social media in order to spread the word. I think it's a phenomenal thing, but I think it becomes a problem when you begin worshiping the algorithm versus worshiping God. Back in the day, especially when it came to small community churches, because it's mostly the mega churches that are doing all these extra things
Jesus
for social
Christ.
media. These small community churches used to really focus on community building, on testimony, and on faith as a lived experience. But now it feels as if churches are almost curated for social media, especially the mega churches. I mean, just look at all the modern day mega churches. Like, literally, it's a concert. It feels like you're at Coachella sometimes. And everyone's trying to be too cool for school, or trying to adhere and adapt to the current and new generation, which once again is not a bad thing, okay? Y'all, I'm trying to cover every point where y'all gonna try and get me in the comments, because y'all try to jump down my throat every single time I talk about Christianity. Though I do identify as a Christian, I just feel as if I like to have deeper and more vulnerable conversations. But that's a different topic for a different day. But
that's consciousness, baby. That's consciousness, baby. I understand. I know you probably watching this, or you seeing my videos of me reacting to you. We're gonna have a conversation, deeper conversation about it. I know you heard me reacting to your stuff and giving you some game and everything. So it's consciousness. It's consciousness. I used to be a Christian, but then I upgraded. I elevated to spirituality. Upgraded again. Consciousness. So all this is consciousness, baby. That's it.